What's up, gamers and gamers? Today we're going to be reacting to this DSP detractor video. DSP goes on an insane rant over Baldur's Gate 3 winning Game of the Year and takes it out on viewers and trolls. Well, this is going to be healthy.
Monday, we're starting Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be pretty pissed off because you guys keep telling me it's the best RPG ever, and I'm so wrong for skipping it. If this game isn't great, I'm going to call you out. Alrighty, so today is Friday, the 8th of December, 2023. I'm Darkside Phil. I welcome you here to the Level 1 podcast, and today, of course, will be a hefty show because today is the Game Awards decompression show. Now, as you know, I've told you guys this every single year. The Game Awards are not official. The Game Awards do not represent anything official whatsoever.
They kind of represent something official. So if you guys don't know, like, the Game Awards are kind of like I guess you would say, at least the Jeff Keighley Game of the Year Awards, they're like considered like the high tier. Like, they're considered like the Grammys or the Oscars. Now, just because the Oscars give an award to, a movie, an actor, or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean they're the best actor for everyone. But this is the one that Academy recognizes as the best of, that category or the best stuff. That's basically what the Jeff Keighley Game of the Year Awards are. And by the way, I sped it up because I didn't even realize this one's actually pretty lengthy.
Because a game won or lost or ranked but didn't win at the Game Awards doesn't mean a game is good or bad. They have absolutely no bearing.
I'm gonna say there's some truth to that, but not necessarily the way he thinks it is. Like, I think because this year was so packed with games that it was really hard. At the end of the day, I think everyone walked away pleasantly surprised. Like, I honestly thought Spider-Man was going to take some awards home, and it didn't take anything home. And then Hi-Fi Rush took more awards home, and I was like, wow, holy shit. Xbox tax at work, huh? But it was like, I don't look at the Game Awards as like, like this, stamp of approval, like, oh, I got to play it. It's like, oh, I guess a lot of people like this game. I might have to check it out. That's the furthest me and the Game Awards go. It's like, oh, they say this is the Game of the Year? Well, let's check it out then. Well, I bought every year since 2020 the Game of the Year. I mean, I bought Elden Ring. Goddamn, maybe I didn't buy 2021. What won Game of the Year in 2021? I'm trying to remember. I know it wasn't Elden Ring because Elden Ring was last year. Point being is, the Game of the Year awards, while yes, I don't look at them as like, the end all be all in like the, I guess you would say the mainstream media, the mainstream press, they are, the Jeff Keighley ones are kind of considered like the end all be all, the Oscars, the Grammy caliber show.
On anything. In fact, the Game Awards are actually voted on majority by journalists, and we all know that games journalists are actually not in line with what most gamers want. Therefore...
Yeah, but game journalists have their own taste. That's the thing. I think this is why I have the problem with this huge divide. It's like, yeah, the journalists don't agree with what you think. Congratulations. So what? I couldn't care. Okay, the journalists voted for Baldur's Gate 3 to win Game of the Year. You know what? Cool. I thought that was Game of the Year. Hell yeah. Oh, they thought, Sekiro was better than Death Stranding. Okay, whatever. I mean, to each their own. It's a case-by-case base, You don't have to listen to the journalists. The most you should listen to a journalist for is for information. And that's it. You shouldn't listen to a review and be like, oh, well, if that review says it's good, that means it's good. Like, how about you play the game for yourself? Because the only person who knows your taste of, games, well enough is you. Like, you know what you like, not Joe Schmo from IGN.
We actually have absolutely nothing to talk about today, so that is it for the podcast, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Well, except that I say this every year
Cringe.
and no one listens to me, and everyone still judges the Game Awards as if it has some true bearing on the goodness of games, and they actually will rank their games based on what the Game Awards said won or lost. So I end up having to talk about it every year regardless. I really wish that people would not give it as much weight or merit, because quite frankly, I feel like a lot of great games get overlooked and a lot of bad games get overhyped. We're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss the elephant in the room. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you can believe it, the biggest surprise shocker ever just happened at the Game Awards 2023. Are you ready for this? This is what everyone wants me to talk about. This is the burning topic that must be addressed right now before we get to anything else. Game of the Year was not given to Starfield. And that is an absolute atrocity. We all know that Starfield was definitively, without a doubt, without any kind of criticism or commentary possible, it was the indisputable best game of 2023, hands down. How could anyone possibly say something differently? And the fact that it didn't win Game of the Year just proves that it was complete sham. This is just a bunch of people who are trying to push agendas. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? We all know there's an Xbox tax out there. No matter what, if a game's exclusive to Xbox and not on PlayStation, it'll never win at the Game Awards, and that's just a bunch of baloney.
This is cringe. This hurts.
Of course, I'm being completely facetious with that. That's complete bullshit, right?
You know, they say laughing at your own joke shows how egotistical you are. No wonder he's... that actually adds up with DSP.
What's funny to me, all right, this year, is that, and I said this earlier this year, and I'll reiterate, and I'm basically going to address what people want me to address, but it's not intelligent people who want me to address this, sadly. Basically, this year was a year when there were so many games that when they came out, everyone was just so sure that they were going to be Game of the Year this year. Are you ready to go through the list of games? You know, first we started off with Resident Evil 4 Remake. Oh my God, this game is so good. I can't believe that this game would not be Game of the Year. And then it was Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Wow, it blows away Breath of the Wild. It's so many innovations and so many new things. I can't believe this game wouldn't be Game of the Year. And then it was Final Fantasy 16. Oh my God, it's the best Final Fantasy ever. Amazing music, great visuals. It's a great story. I can't believe it. The best Game of the Year. And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Oh my God, it's the best RPG ever made. Fan service out the wazoo. They really put attention to detail. There's no way it can't be Game of the Year.
Yeah, but it kind of speaks for Baldur's Gate when everyone kept... like, I was part of Cowboys' podcast, and every time we talked about Game of the Year, it was like almost the consensus was either Zelda or Baldur's Gate, and it leaned on Baldur's Gate most of the time, because people were like, holy shit, this game really is that good. You know, the Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 16, I think those were, you know, those were hyped up to be like big Game of the Year contenders. But I think they fell short for some people. Because I think what a good Game of the Year, how you can tell a game really is a Game of the Year contender, is if the game released like early in the year and people are still talking about it like towards the end of the year. You know, Tears of the Kingdom, good example of a game that, hey, a lot of people liked, but it got overshadowed by Baldur's Gate. I honestly believe Baldur's Gate overshadowed almost all the competition. I think Spider-Man 2 got overshadowed by Baldur's Gate. I think freaking Starfield got overshadowed by Baldur's Gate. Hogwarts Legacy. You know, there's so many games that got overshadowed by Baldur's Gate because, well, in another year, those could have been Game of the Year winners. Baldur's Gate 3 was so good, it kind of dwarfed them. It was kind of like a giant, it was like a flying ship in the sky, and the poor little village people, being the other games, are just kind of like, fuck, we're gonna have to deal with that, aren't we? That's what I imagine. And yeah, I think after a while, I think it became clear it wasn't just hype. It wasn't hype that was keeping Baldur's Gate 3 alive. It was the fact that people really did like the game a lot, and it was that good. Yeah, again, got me to start playing, you know, it got me interested to play more Dungeons and Dragons. You know, and I'm not someone who likes to read, by the way.
And it just kept continuing all year, right? And the funny part was, every time that this happened, I called it out. And I was like, you guys realize, just go back, you'll hear me saying, you guys realize not every major RPG and or release this year can be Game of the Year. But that's how everyone is acting. There's all these different pocketed fan groups who are all acting like no matter what, their game is going to get Game of the Year. And at that point, when all this was happening, because I specifically remember there was a particular podcast where I addressed it, I said, you have to understand something. There's absolutely no way all these games can win Game of the Year. In fact, I would bet a lot of these wouldn't even get nominated. Now, in that regard, I guess I was wrong, because if you actually look at the games that got Game of the Year nominations, it's pretty much every game that had a major fan base, except for a couple, which we'll talk about in a second, okay?
Yeah, and for the record, Starfield didn't get nominated for Game of the Year because that game is mid as hell. Dude, I think it speaks volumes that people are talking about Cyberpunk more than they're talking about Starfield. I mean, really think about that. Cyberpunk just had another big update. And what's going on with Starfield? Crickets. It's crickets. Same thing with Spider-Man 2. I mean, granted with Spider-Man 2, it's a little harder for them to, be like, oh, here's more content. But it's like, we have no word on New Game Plus. So it's like, darn. Although God of War Ragnarok did get some DLC, which is nice. I won't lie, that's kind of cool. A roguelike mode. Starting to notice a trend. At least for Sony.
So, when we got to that point, I basically made a statement. I was like, listen, you guys got to understand something. At that point, Baldur's Gate 3 was only on PC. There actually hadn't even been an announcement of when it was coming to console yet. And everyone on PC loved it. But I said, you got to understand something. There's a couple factors here. Number one, if it's only a PC game, that's an isolated audience. If it's not mainstream available, there's going to be people who are not going to be able to play the game. That's going to be a hard sell for Game of the Year. Take a look at previous years, a game like Divinity 2, right? Which everyone absolutely praised and loved. But a lot of people never even talked about because it was PC only for the longest time until it finally got console ports, right? I mean, that's a sure case of that from the past. Now, in addition to that, at that time, because we're talking around the summertime, there were still big releases on the horizon, like Starfield and Spider-Man 2 and a few others that people were eyeballing, and particularly, it was actually Starfield that we were eyeballing at that time. And we were like, well, if this game absolutely lives up to all of the promises that are made about this game, okay, absolutely, this game could be Game of the Year shoo-in, right? It's a make-or-break game for Bethesda. They've had a bunch of bad, disappointing outings right before this, correct? I mean, take a look at, they had Redfall, which was absolutely terrible under Arcane Studios. They had Fallout 76, which was an atrocity at launch, and to this day it has an online player base, but nowhere near what they were originally wanting for the game because it flopped at launch. Fallout 4 had a bunch of major criticisms, and the fact they just keep re-releasing Skyrim and not putting out anything new, this was the big one. And with that media hype behind it and everything, you're like, wow. The common feeling was that it was kind of a wait and see. At that point, I told you, I thought for me all year, I was thinking Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, or Starfield. At that point, that was my thoughts. Those are going to be the big three that'll likely be contention for Game of the Year. But knowing how journalists lean towards Nintendo, because I never thought that Breath of the Wild would have won, and it did, okay? And knowing how journalists go with hype, and if Starfield was good, then he probably would have leaned right towards that. You know what I'm saying?
He says that's how he leans to your god, DSP. You need to get better at this content shit. Dude, if I'll be honest, I never really thought Starfield was going to be Game of the Year. Like, there was just a sneaky suspicion in the back of my head. There was a sneaky suspicion where I was like, kind of feels like they're hiding something here. And then the fact that I heard the game was at 30 FPS, I'm like, does that sound like a Game of the Year contender? Really? I mean, it's saying it's being optimized for console, and yet the most powerful console on the market, and yet 30 FPS with no word of a 60 FPS patch at any point. Okay. Hey, Starfield, at the end of the day, I don't think Starfield's a bad game. I don't think it lived up to the hype either. I think it was mid as hell. It's Fallout 4 in space, and I'm sorry, man. For me personally, that doesn't cut the cake anymore. That doesn't cut the cheese anymore. Because honestly, I'm just burnt out on Fallout. I'm burnt out on Bethesda, which is so funny because like I've been playing Cyberpunk and I really like Cyberpunk, but I think it's because Cyberpunk has more interesting characters. It has a more interesting setting. It has a more interesting weapons. It just has more interesting everything. Like, I guess the problem with Starfield also is just it feels safe. It's like a game that anyone could pick up and play. But like Cyberpunk's like the game that feels a little bit more adult. It's like comparing Skyrim to The Witcher. The Skyrim's safe. It's the safest way, the safest RPG But like The Witcher is like the one that actually requires, like real, maturity. It actually requires you to pay attention to combat. Skyrim, you're going, I'm swinging the sword. I'm swinging the sword. I'm gonna hit you, you big baddie. Meanwhile, in The Witcher, I'm sitting there trying to parody this guy's sword, and then freaking use an arc blast. And going back to Skyrim, look, I'm casting a spell, and I'm swinging a sword. Ain't I cool? Like, just Bethesda, they don't scratch that itch anymore. That's all ironic. That's Project C Red does. And funny enough, with Bethesda's own formula, but like, actually better. Because the story's so compelling.
Thought for sure those would have gotten favor, okay? But here's what happened. Let's be honest. Starfield's not very good, right? Starfield is a huge disappointment. I mean, I talked about it in the credits of the playthrough. I gave you my review of it. It's just incredibly underwhelming. But once, essentially, Starfield sucked and was not even nominated for Game of the Year, yeah, I think that the top two games that it was between was Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3. And I said as much. But the funny part is, people out there who are morons like to take one moment in time and act like that moment in time is eternal, that nothing ever changes. If you take my quote from many months ago that said Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to win Game of the Year because it's PC-centric, and right now with everything else going on, those other games, like I even said, Starfield is a shoo-in for Game of the Year if it's as good as people are saying it's going to be. And what happened? Well, Baldur's Gate 3 released for console, people absolutely loved it on console, and it got more mainstream attention than it had before. Starfield came out flopped. No one likes it. As a direct result of your request, as a direct result of the Game Awards, and as the direct result of the generosity of viewers, because I received a donation on Monday on the daytime stream, starting right then at 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, for the first time ever, right here, live on DSP Gaming, because you want it for all the months that you asked for and told me that I was wrong for skipping it. On Monday, we're starting Baldur's Gate 3. And let me tell you something. If this isn't the best RPG I've ever fucking played in my life, if it's overhyped, if it feels underwhelming, if it's a slow-paced piece of crap, I'm going to be pretty pissed off because you guys keep telling me it's the best RPG ever, and I'm so wrong for skipping it. If this game isn't great, I'm going to call you out. So you better be ready. But don't worry, I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to unfairly judge this.
Do you see? Oh my god, I got pause that one.
So you better be ready. But don't worry, I'm going to...
Tell me you have a memeable face without telling me you have a memeable face. Look at this man. Yes, I am the connoisseur of video games. Fuck Jeff Keighley. Fuck the Game Awards. I am a true gamer.
To be fair, I'm not going to unfairly judge this game. I'm not. I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to be calm, and I'm going to judge it for itself fairly as we play it. But my God, you guys have ridiculously overhyped this game. And every time that I've asked the question, how is this game the best RPG, no one can answer. Well, it's got a great story. So do other RPGs. Oh, well, it's...
They're giving you the answer, dumbass. It has a good story, has great combat, has great characters, has interesting, levels. Dude, like, I could gush about Baldur's Gate for a long time. Like, to me, it's like the new Last of Us for me. Fucking about to buy like 20 copies of this damn thing. Kidding. But like, Baldur's Gate's just, it's so hard to describe because it feels like the most RPG we've gotten in a long time. Like, how do you describe something that's like Dungeons and Dragons, but a video game? Its own interesting world, but with like Dungeons and Dragons mechanics. Like, you ever watch the Amazon show Vox Machina? It's kind of like that. It's really good, and at times it can be very compelling stuff. More compelling than go to space. Go to space. You're special now. Go to space.
It's good combat. Other RPGs have great combat. Oh, the atmosphere, yeah. Oh, well, the devs listen to the fans. Other devs have listened to fans. Can you definitively explain to me what exactly it is in this game that makes it stand out? The bear sex scene. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've...
That scene is overblown to hell. It's not even a bear you're having sex with. It's a druid who... Then you can decide if you want the druid or do you want the bear. You decide. No one talks about the drow elf that will literally kill you after you have sex with her. because she doesn't think you're a true believer, or no one talks about the girl you have sex with, and then after her fucking hair color changes. No one talks about the fact you can fuck a vampire who can't even see himself in his own fucking mirror, or you can have the most magical sex scene with a wizard who's on the verge of dying. It's basically a walking nuclear bomb. No one talks about that. They go back to that fucking druid scene. And that's just such cringe. That's such bare minimum. Such bare minimum actually understanding this game.
I've ever heard. You tell me the game is good because it has a bear sex scene. What are you, 5 years old? So...
No, it's good because it has characters that have very compelling backstories, like Shadowheart's. Oh my gosh, Shadowheart. Yo, my girl has more interesting character moments. She has more interesting backstory than entire fucking games. I'm talking like, I think Shadowheart's backstory, it's more compelling than anything in Fallout, anything in Skyrim, anything, I would almost dare say, almost better than some stuff in The Witcher. And you guys know how much I love The Witcher. So, yeah. There's much more to it than the bear sex scene. And if you really think that's what this game's all about, you are dumb. You are dumb as hell. You are so dumb. The government has a check for you every month. You need to start collecting it right now. Come on, go collect it.
That's what I mean. Like, when everyone says it's the best, but no one can actually explain why. That makes me wonder about it. Okay? So we're going to find out. Now, by the way, I want to remind you all of the reasons why I didn't play Baldur's Gate 3 this year. You ready? First of all, it was PC only. So I couldn't play it at launch because it was PC only. Okay. Oh, third out of third, I don't have any money to invest. He's saying, if you just invest in PC gaming, you'd be getting so much more out of it. I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to do it.
DSP, get a PC. No, fuck that. You don't even need to get a PC for this game. You could have used that fucking rinky-dink laptop you have. Get GeForce Now installed. Boom. You could play it. But then it came to PlayStation, so hey, even easier. And yet, it just... I don't want to miss out on the newest game hype. This motherfucker, earlier this week, was sitting there saying, oh, I can't fit it into my schedule. I got Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth coming out. Bitch, we all know you don't like playing those games. Stop playing games for the fucking day one hype. How about actually doing this, DSP? How about doing this? Establishing an actual personality. How about that? Besides eBagger. Do that. Maybe actually play games because you're actually interested in them. Instead of just being like, it's the newest game. I need the hype. I need the money. God, this is what bugs me about this man. It's that he doesn't actually like video games. This man seems to hate video games. Dude, watching this man play a game, especially a game that's very text heavy, is boring as hell. The man has the most irredeemable voice. I hate DSP's voice. I hate his looks. I hate everything about him. I hate that he's the most bland. I think I came up with this analogy in a video before. Maybe I did. But he is the most bland, tasteless fucking potato chip out there. And a sea of other potato chips that have way more personality, way more flavor, way more depth, way more personality. Potato chips personality, but you know what I'm saying. He is so boring to watch. How about actually playing a game that actually requires your brain, like Baldur's Gate 3? Oh, well, everyone tells me about this great sword. What do I have to do to get it? Like, this game doesn't give you the best weapons just by playing the main story. You actually have to go look for this shit. And even then, if it's not put in a character for right build, that weapon can actually be detrimental. If you don't have a barbarian that actually has, the longsword proficiency, great sword, that sword means nothing to him because it's a great sword. You need a character that has a great sword proficiency that's actually good, deals out some big damage already. This adds on top of it. And dude, this is how I know his stream's gonna be so fucking boring. Because the game itself is great. A great game. But for a streamer to make this, a great experience, they need to actually learn how to play the game properly. Or at least be, a good commentator. Or, good at being a streamer. DSP's not good at this shit. He's been... The only reason DSP even has the following he has, A, he's such an easy fucking low cow for everyone to make fun of. B, he's been doing it for so fucking long that, of course, he's been grandfathered in. Oh, but people subscribe to DSP as, like, the baby's first streamer. But then they actually, subscribe to a real streamer with a real personality. Dude, it's been said that a good streamer could stream their face, just their face, drawing. Them drawing, and people will watch because their personality carries them. DSP, the only thing that carries DSP is cat, and that poor woman's back's getting blown out, and not in a good way either.
I don't have money to do it.
And by the way, DSP, just get a gaming PC. Just, good lord. I gotta say, man, it's so weird how this man claims to be like one of the most proficient, live streamers out there, one of the most recognizable streamers out there. And he doesn't even have a fucking computer that can run Baldur's Gate 3. This man, all he has to do is just stop paying for them Hogans. Stop paying for them Hogans for a couple months. Oh, look, he could get a brand new gaming PC. And problem solved. He could play any game then. He could play any game with any mod then. Remember, guys, he used to build PCs as a hobby. He used to try to sell like pre-built PCs. Like his own. But he for some reason, he doesn't understand a computer. This motherfucker just recently was having problems with OBS because they stopped updating it, OBS for Windows 8. And the latest update fucked him over. Oh, God. DSP. The definition of bare minimum. Bare minimum effort.
I don't have money to do it. I don't have money to pay my fucking taxes. You think I'm gonna buy a fucking gaming PC? You're out of your mind. Alright? Jesus. By the time it came out on PlayStation, I was already in the midst of other fall playthroughs that were popular, and I didn't really have time to play a lengthy RPG at that time. Also, because of the way this game has been described, and because of the way that people are telling me that it is, alright? Basically, here's the deal, alright? I feel like it's not a game that fits the format of my streams. If people are saying that a minimum playthrough of this game is 60 to 80 hours long, if not longer, how in the fuck do you think that fits into my streams? I'm a variety streamer. I am a variety streamer. Now again, I'm not trying to set the game up for...
That doesn't mean what you think it means, dipshit.
Failure. I'm a realist, alright? I'm telling you, I already figured from everything you guys have told me about this game, I don't think it would work for my streams. But I'm listening to your feedback. You want it won Game of the Year, alright? And basically it's been donated now. So every factor has lined up. I have no excuse to not play it. I'm going to play it. Alright? In fact, I actually think at this point, there's been so much demand. There's been so much stuff that people have asked for. I'll give it a shot. Alright? I'm a fair guy. When so many people yell at me about it, right? I'll do it. So we're starting Monday. And I'm gonna approach it with an open mind like any other game. Literally, I will not be a dick about it. I'm not gonna be, a negative asshole to the game. I'm gonna approach it like an open RPG. I think people's like character creation is pretty cool. We'll jump in, we'll see how the plot's. By the way, and here's the really cool part about it. I know nothing about this game. I've never played a Baldur's Gate game before. So I don't know the plot, okay, at all. I've gotten zero spoilers about it because I don't understand. I never played one. I don't know. How could you spoil me? You know what I'm saying? So this is 100% cold turkey for me to jump into this game. All right? So let's find out how it's going to go. Now, yes, I will be very honest with you up front. If I play this game within 2 to 3 streams, Everything is falling off. People aren't showing up. People are disengaging, not even talking about the game. They're just talking about other shit. They're saying it's boring in the chat. No one, like literally no one is talking to me. Everyone's having their own conversations about bullshit. What are you talking about? Engagement's dead. Support is dead. No one cares about the game. No, I'm not going to fucking play this game for 100 hours. No.
And this is the key problem here. He is expecting this game to be a patch to, make up for some of that lost revenue he wants. That's not how this is going to go. Okay, I'm going to predict this right now. And any detractor, like some rice, shout out to you, buddy. You could clip this. You could quote me on this. This game will do well for a couple of streams, and then it'll have this big drop-off. Guarantee it. And then DSP's going to drop the game and get pissed off about it. Guarantee it. Because it just comes down to the personality. He does not have the personality to carry this game. The game would have to carry him. And just like, I think he's going to get so lost in what you could do in the game that he'll just start saying, this is just stupid. This is just complicated to be complicated. What do you mean I could talk to a fucking... I could kill some harpies? Where do you find the harpies? Like, the chat's literally going to have to carry him through the game in order for him to get the best outcome.
Absolutely not. The thing is, if it's good, if I'm hooked on it, and I really like it, and you guys are liking it, and we're all engaged, we're having a good time, and it ends up being a great stream, I am happy to play it.
By the way, I'm bothered by the fact that the chat, in his chat, has to be talking about the game and him. And that's it. They can't talk about anything else. They can't talk about, man, do you guys hear about Jeff? Jeff, his mom, she has cancer now. Man, that sucks. Why aren't you guys talking about the game? Why aren't you talking about me? Like, that's DSP. That's the biggest problem I have with DSP. This motherfucker is always about me, cat, Jasper. In that order. And he only mentions cat when he's trying to get sympathy points. You always notice that?
But I want that atmosphere. I don't want, everyone wanted it, but it was a trick because it's a fucking game that everyone knows won't work for a stream. Then I'm not playing it. Fuck off. It's that simple.
Dude, I already see someone being in his chat saying, hey, why'd you go with this build? Why'd you pick a wizard? Why'd you pick a rogue? Like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And he'll just sit there and get upset about it. Like, well, stop telling me I'm doing it wrong. Like, dude, oh my god. Because there are some classes in the game that are not as good as others. Like bards, for example. Bards are just, I almost consider them useless, to be honest.
I already feel like it won't work for my format. I've told you that already. I've predicted that. But maybe, you know what? I would like to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. Here's the thing. I love RPGs. Did you notice? I grew up playing RPGs. It's one of my favorite genres of game. The problem is RPGs are very hard to retain attention. They just are. They're hard to retain an audience, okay? And by the way, I already saw, are you ready for this? I already saw people in chat already setting the stage for failure. You ready? Oh, well, if he plays the game now and it doesn't do well, you can't blame the game because it's 4 months later. Bullshit. It's an RPG. I can play whatever the fuck I want. I didn't play every Elder Scrolls game the day it came out. Oblivion, how many years late did I play that? What the fuck are you talking about? No, if it's such a good RPG, it should be good whenever I play it. No excuses that because it's 4 months later, oh, now people won't watch it. Fuck you. Stop trying to already make excuses for why the game will not work on my streams because you're afraid it's not going to and then you're going to look like an asshole. So no, I'm not...
Oh, God. Dudes, he is so salty about this shit. It's so pathetic. This 40-year-old man is sitting there getting mad that someone's saying, he might not play this well. It won't do well for him. Like, look at that. He's just getting salty about this for, like, no reason. By the way, perfect face to get there right there. You guys get your screenshots right there.
Taking those excuses. Those excuses are invalid. If the game is good, it's good forever. Let's see if it's good starting on Monday. It's that simple. No more bullshit. I've had enough of the bullshit. I really have. All right. So
yeah, again, laughing your own joke, showing that you're more egotistical than you want to admit.
I'm excited. I really am excited to start this on Monday. And you know what? I will say this. I'm always someone who is willing to...
Why start on Monday? Why don't you just start it that day?
admit when I'm actually wrong. If yesterday I had said there's no chance in hell Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win Game of the Year and then it won, I would say I was completely wrong. No, I said that ages ago before all the qualifying things happened to make it look like it was going to win, and I was asked recently, would it win? I said, yeah, it's either Baldur's Gate or Zelda. Those are the two games that are going to win Game of the Year, one or the other, right? So, no, you don't get to say no gotcha moments on me. I see you said it wasn't going to win. Yeah, that was like 6-7 months ago. Shut up. You're an idiot, okay? In this case, I would be willing to say, hey, if it works for my streams, if it's a great game, I will be happy. Do you understand? I will actually be happy to be proven wrong. I would be. I would love to have a great game in my streams. Now, I want you to understand something. We are opening a big can of worms with this, and here's why we're opening a big can of worms. In January, there's 2 big RPGs, Persona 3 Remake and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, both of which...
And you don't have to play those games, Phil. I just don't get why he plays these JRPGs. He clearly doesn't like them. He actually seems to get like upset, when a game has sexual content, which really surprises me now. I think about why the hell is he playing Baldur's Gate 3 of all games? Because this game is pretty fucking sexual. One character especially. Oh, Dolly. Who, by the way, won Best Actor, and I definitely agree with that. Although my vote was for Yuri, but to each their own. I can see Phil getting so... I can already see it. I can see it in my head. I can see it in, like, it's clear as day, like the computer screen right now. If my eyes close, I can see it. He's gonna be like, why is everyone trying to have sex with me? I have a wife. Their name is Kat. Ooh, elf boobies. Because let's be honest here. We all want to do Shadowheart first, didn't we? But I want, of my girl, the tiefling, I forget her fucking name. I forget. I know it starts with a K. I'm stupid, okay?
Which are ginormous, both of which are highly anticipated, both of which everyone wants to see. How the fuck do I keep playing Baldur's Gate 3 with those games? I can't. That's the answer. I can't. There's no way that I can...
So, cancel your pre-orders and just play fucking Baldur's Gate 3 until you're done. Boom. And then if you really want to play Persona 3 or fucking Like a Dragon, like anyone wants you to play those boring-ass games, sorry, dude. Yeah, I feel like those games great, cool. But DSP, him playing them, no, just no. He's so fucking, he's too American. He's too America. Like, he's a very disrespectful person towards the Japanese. Like, good lord. Do I have to bring up the fucking Chin-chan jokes?
Juggle 17 RPGs at once. You understand that, right? So, I don't know...
You're not playing 17 RPGs. Stop being over dramatic.
What to say about that? Again, this game is so lengthy. With my variety schedule, this is also kind of setting myself up for disaster. I don't see how I could be playing that many games at once, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what's going to happen. If we play it and it's great, right? And now all of a sudden, it's like now we have to make a decision. Well, crap, what games am I skipping? What games am I playing? And I think this is going to come more into play because on the Christmas Marathon, December 23rd.
Okay, and I also want to answer this for me. Has he ever said he's going to, like, get The Last of Us remastered? The Last of Us Part 2 remastered? Because honestly, if it was me, TBG be like, hey, Phil, I'll give you $10. Get The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. I want to see you play through that again. I want to see you play through The Last of Us Part 1 again. And you know what? I want to see if you still have the same opinions on this game. Who knows? Maybe I could do that for a summer stream. But even then, I don't know. I don't know if I want to give him the money for it. Because, like, oh, God. I don't trust DSP of money. I don't trust DSP to start a fucking bath. Not unless run a company.
Up, by the way, it's about 2 weeks from tomorrow, right? That's when we're going to go through the game schedule for 2024. We're going to look week by week what games are coming out, and we're going to determine which ones are interesting that you want to see me play. And once we figure this out, we're going to have to make tough decisions. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to have to drink. I'm going to have to start drinking eggnog and whiskey to make these tough decisions about the schedule because I love these games. That's going to be sad to say I just can't play them all because, I'm one man. What are we going to do? So it's going to be a rough one, We'll have to talk about this and figure this out together, all right? And I did nothing wrong. I did absolutely nothing wrong.
And thank God we are done. So, yeah. DSP he needs to learn to pick and choose these games, but he's not going to. Because he's good. He's going to be very determined to play those Jap crap games. By the way, sorry if I offended you calling those Jap crap games, but they are to me. Sorry. especially compared to a game like Baldur's Gate. In my personal opinion, he needs to drop those other games and just focus on Baldur's Gate and get through that game first. But we'll see. So until next time, guys, this is That PlayStation Gamer signing out. Hoping you all have a good day now. Peace out. Blah, 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 blah. YouTube algorithm BS.